welcome to another installment of In the Paint. I'm Ryan Shannon. On this week's installment, we will have a brief visit with one of the most well-respected and successful leadership figures of his generation, Vito DiMartino, who, among other things, will discuss his various roles as assistant coach with our local Niagara River Lions, as well as his thoughts about adjusting to the league itself. Next, as part of this week's Voices of the Game segment, we'll check in with Toronto Raptors superstar Rudy Gay, as he'll provide his insight on the team's recent struggles, as well as how they plan on overcoming this poor stretch in order to make an incomparable run at this year's playoffs. Also ahead on today's podcast, we will meet with Jerry Stackhouse, head coach of the Toronto Raptors' G League affiliate, to discuss the growth of the league, its players, as well as his transition from player to coach. LeBron James' new shoes were released yesterday, so we will also share some fan reaction as the show progresses. And to conclude, I'm going to take my best shot at solving the Philadelphia 76ers and redefine the meaning of the process. Alrighty then, so as promised, we're going to kick off the show with the legend himself. His official title speaks for itself, but around here we know him best as Mr. D. Hello, my friend, are you there?
Hello, Ryan. Yes, I'm here. Is this thing working? Can you hear me? Good God, this is malarkey.
Hello, Vito? You're good. I can hear you perfectly. For all the listeners tuning in, I'm sure you're slightly confused by Mr. D's voice. But fear not, as we have been asked by his personal representatives to alter the sound of his voice for reasons unbeknownst to myself, and even Mr. D. Okay, now that we're all comfy cozy, shall we begin?
Certainly, Ryan.
Okay, well, before I begin the process of literally berating you with various questions about your past history and current affairs, I want to give you the opportunity to personally let the audience know a little bit more about your past and present before I ask the tough questions.
Of course. Well, as you know, I was the head athletic director at A.N. Meyer for over a decade, and I learned many great lessons along the way that has helped shape the person and coach I am today. As of today, I am an assistant coach of the Niagara River Lions, and my responsibilities as an assistant are varying. Typically, I will assist in the facilitation of warm-ups, skill development during practices, scouting the opposition, film analysis, as well as multiple other designations. It's an amazing lifestyle, essentially living in basketball mode 100% of the time. The court is most definitely considered a second home for me.
Wow, what an amazing story you tell. Your path in life shows a great progression and an undeniable determination to learn from your past experiences.
Yes, it's been an amazing journey so far, and I wouldn't change it, part of it for the world.
Absolutely special. Oh, but if I may intervene for a moment, it seems we've got some severely important breaking news coming out of Toronto, as being told via Brian Windhorst of ESPN, that the Toronto Raptors have agreed to deal team scoring leader Rudy Gay to the Sacramento Kings, with the return being unknown at the moment.
Well, that is a turn of events.
Well, stay tuned, folks, as we'll be right back with further details and analysis on this developing story, following this brief message. I seriously can't believe that just happened. Rudy was supposed to follow your interview. Like, holy
Fix auto, the first words that should come to mind after an accident. Fix auto, the first words that should come to mind after an accident.
Welcome back, listeners. I can now confirm from multiple sources, including Chris Broussard of ESPN, that the trade involves 7 players total and is as follows. The Sacramento Kings will receive Rudy Gay, Aaron Gray, and Quincy Acey from the Toronto Raptors, while the North side will be welcoming 4 new faces in the likes of John Salmons, Grievous Vasquez, Chuck Hayes, and Patrick Patterson. This truly is an incredible turn of events, as some will begin to suggest that this trade is a clear signal of a North Side rebuild. But seeing as though we have Mr. DiMartino here with us, I think that this is a great opportunity to get his opinion on the coaching staff, management staff relationship that can oftentimes be strained after trades like these.
The relationship between coaches and management, in my own experience, is very good. If the coach does not act as a general manager, then a high level of cooperation must exist between the two groups. The GM must be in tune to the needs of the club and the wish list for the head coach. Also, it is very important that upper management do not try and coach the team by imposing their will on the coach. The River Lions coaching staff has complete control over basketball decisions on the court, so in this regard, the relationship worked very well. I believe based on pure observation that Coach Casey and Messiah have a very strong relationship, and I believe the injection of veteran talent and experience could aid in player development and on-court productivity for the Toronto Raptors. As a lifelong supporter of Canadian basketball, I would hope that this can steer the team in the right direction so that the youth movement can, in our sport in Canada, continue to grow even further.
How about, can you speak to the importance of revenue with regards to fan loyalty when considering making a significant trade such as this one?
Great question, Ryan. This may vary from team to team and operating budget. Putting the best product on the court is often the goal of every team in the NBL of Canada. Generally speaking, winning translates to the probability of a better fan base. Unfortunately, if teams struggle to get fans and don't get enough revenue to pay the players, it is now the responsibility of the other owners to help improve the team. Therefore, it is in everyone's best interest that the league is promoted well and all teams thrive. Again, as a fan of basketball in general, I hope Rudy finds success in Sacramento and both teams pay dividends in this deal.
Great stuff, Mr. D. Now let's take you to Rudy Gay as he arrives in Sacramento following this incredibly surprising trade.
We're good.
Right behind you, Rudy.
All right. Well, Rudy, welcome to Sacramento. Give us your thoughts about being a King.
Well, excited to say the least. I have a couple guys here with me that came with me, but it's just a new beginning. I've been saying it all day, and obviously have a lot of young pieces, and I'm glad to be a part of it.
What do you know about this franchise?
Well, obviously, DeMarcus. He's a great player. He's been a great player for a couple years now, and it's taking that leap. And new coach. Aaron Gray actually played for him, so he knows a lot about him. Other than that, we haven't played him yet this year, so I don't know much other than that.
This team's been looking for an athletic three that can score for a long time, somebody that can play with Cousins and stretch the floor out a little bit. Look forward to playing with a big guy?
I'm an athletic three that can score, so I guess that answers your question.
What was your reaction to the trade, and how are you taking all of this in right now? It's probably been a crazy 24 hours.
Yeah, it's been a whirlwind, but it's nothing I can't deal with or try to move past.
You talked about this being a new start. How excited are you to have a fresh new start here?
I am. I'm very excited. Just being in a New Jersey, new organization, and after kind of a rough patch in Toronto, I think this can be a good start for me.
Were you expecting to be traded? Was this a surprise to you?
It wasn't a surprise. I think timing was surprising to me, but I wasn't surprised at all. I pretty much knew what direction the organization was going to go in.
Welcome.
Talk about your shooting percentage this season and working on that in that part of your game.
Well, it was like I said, it was tough. It was tough, dealing with certain things there and being a part of, a team that's rebuilding, and also is here, but we have a lot of different pieces, and I think I can be a little better here.
Okay, folks, I'm sorry to inform you all that this marks the conclusion of our broadcast, as we obviously chose to follow the story as it developed. So as a result, our scheduled segments involving Jerry Stackhouse as well as the Philadelphia 76ers will be postponed to a later date. As always, it's been great talking game with you all. Tune in next time when we attack even more hot topics right here with In the Paint.